Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and I rule well. And citation, much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson real quick, which was, was inspired by, somebody that sent this video to me, which the person that sent this here video to me is somebody that, personally knows me and knows, about, kind of the transformation that I've had in my life and everything else like that, but wasn't always on the same belief or the same page that I was on and everything else like that. And then past times, how do I say, contradicted a lot of things or not really was on the same level. And I say that to say this, like, hey, for especially you new brothers coming into this here truth, with, how it is coming into this truth, you may have friends, you may have families, relatives, old lady or people like that that don't quite agree with you, don't believe in the things that you believe in. And, it's not really up for you to, try to shove it down their throat, put it that way. It's more or less, hey, live your life, as a living example. All right. And in due time, they'll wind up changing. All right. And I'd say that to say this because of the fact of, and I'm going to play a video here in the background from Jason A's channel. And it was uploaded, like maybe a day ago or something like that. So it was a very recent video. Now, this person, they're not into this type of stuff, or they wasn't into this type of stuff. I'll put it that way. They wasn't into this type of stuff. They wasn't watching these channels and things like that. But nevertheless, they sent me this here video about these things. And like I said, when I used to tell them about some of these things, they were like, I don't know about all that, or, just look at you a little weird and everything else like that. But now all of a sudden they're sending, back in the days, you would send them videos and things like that. Nowadays, they sending you videos as if they, you know what I mean? But hey, it's just call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. But the point of this here video is going into what the MOTB and these prophecies speaking. So I'm going to go ahead and read this real quick in Habakkuk chapter 2. Starting in verse 1, it says, And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. All right. And that's what we've been doing, especially with this here topic of the MOTB. All right. We've been flooding the airways with this here topic and breaking it down multiple different times and multiple different ways. So it's clear as day to what it is. Now we're at the point now, like I said, that somebody sent me a video where it's, like we would, amongst the brothers, we would send each other videos and things like that. And you might just read the headline of the article or the title of the video, and you already know what topic it's going into. But now, like I said, from this here example of somebody who you'd have to sit there and break it down to him, feed it to him, give him the milk and, give him the foundations of the building blocks, just like a newborn babe, for them to get it. Now, all of a sudden, well, the title of the video says, What's going on in 2022, ? All right, by Jason A. But however, when he, it's only a 3-minute long video, but going into the video itself, once you start hearing, the first couple of little segments of the video, I already know what the hell they sent me the video for. But nevertheless, they're starting to catch on to what this is talking about, because, the first couple lines in there, they don't quite tell you about what it's all about or biblically what it's about. But, hey, we've been telling them about this so much, they know when they start seeing certain things, like that's what that is. Somebody give you a description of certain things, let's just, whatever type of example, somebody describe certain characteristics of something your whole life, you never see it. By the time you see, these things play out, you know exactly what it is. And that's what, read it again, Habakkuk 2:2, and Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. So, hey, it's clear as day. So I'm going to let this here, 1 second. Let me just read this real quick. Habakkuk 2:3, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So I'm going to go ahead and play this here video real fast.
Many have started paying for things with our phones, even watches.
One company, though, wants to take that technology to another.
Hey, just from those first couple seconds, you're talking about paying for certain things, right? Again, if you've been in this here truth for quite a while, you should know where this here lesson is going, all right? Talking about payments and things like that. But nevertheless, we're going to listen in on this video.
Well, many have started paying for things with our phones, even watches.
One company, though, wants to take that technology to another level by implanting a chip in your hand.
Listen to this. Instead of carrying your...
Hey, and that's all we pretty much have to play of the video. But, we already know what this is about, man. And like I said, it's been made plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it, to the fact of where, like I said, you've been preaching and speaking on these things for years on end. to now people that aren't necessarily, let's just say hypothetically, in the truth, like the brothers that's in the truth, whether it be a a spouse, a relative, a friend in the world, all right, to where they see these things are coming across on their normal YouTube, they on YouTube and they doing their own thing somewhere else. All of a sudden, they come across a video like this, and the first thing that they think about, because you've been instilling this in their mind for so long, they're like, oh shit, let me go send this to them. This is what they be talking about. This got to be the MOTB. This is what it is. Now all of a sudden they're convinced they can see these things now. All right, but that goes forth to show that, hey, what you've been doing isn't going in vain. It's not falling on deaf ears. It's actually making an imprint or a mark. All right, and hey, the Lord will have mercy on who He will have mercy on. So it's not according to you. It's not according to your time frame. All right, whether they get it in the first day you tell them, or whether it be the first month that you tell them, or whether it's in the first year. It may be 2, 3, 4, 5 years later down the road. By the time they start hearing these things and seeing these things, and then, like I said, it's a beautiful thing to see the transformation of a lot of these things, to where you may have been ostracized by, again, friends, families, wives or women and things like this, and may not even talk to them in years on end. Y'all might have, let's say you've been in the truth for a couple years, and they stopped being your friend some years back, and all of a sudden they just start texting you out the blue, sending you videos like this. All right, but hey, let's listen in a little bit more.
Wallet in your back pocket or your purse. A tech company wants you to keep it under your skin.
All right, so let's explain here. Wallet More is selling microchips implanted in your hand as an alternate payment. Could this be the future? Maybe.
Let's just go ahead and get to it. All right. And you can't see it on the screen, but Revelation 13-16, it says, and He caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that He may select. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, let me read that one more time. Revelation 13-16, and He caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, and here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is and his number is 603 All right, and so going into the fact that no man might be able to buy or sell, as a going into this here video and things like that, they talk about, these different transactions and making these sales and everything else like that. And this is in the news. This is something that's, currently going on. All right. And these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. So as far as, the controversy of what the MOTB is right now, it's being made manifest. At the end is speaking and not lying. All right. So, hey, let me see. Let me click on this real quick. We can go into this here word a little bit. All right, the word for Marcus, a charagma. All right. It says a stamp or imprinted mark. We can jump down real quick to a thing carved, sculpted, graven image. All right. It says a scratch or etching. All right, a stamp, a badge of servitude, a sculptor, figure, graven image. So it's a scratch or etching. Let's go further into it, to the word karax. All right, or from karaxo, to sharpen to a point. All right, so also like let's read the definition: a pale or a stake or palisade. All right, just kind of like a syringe of. When you look at how they put these RFID chips inside of you, they telling you can go to a tattoo shop and they pretty much use a syringe and they put it inside of your hand. You know what I'm saying? And you have Elon Musk with the Neuralink and things like that. All right, going further into this here word, grapho. Now we see this also coming into play. Now, right now they're talking about using this for so-called payments and things like that, but also with the with this global situation, we'll call it that, and talking about this the juicy juice and things like that, if you understand the topic that I'm trying to talk about. Now with that, they want to also make sure that you get your up-to-date health records and real time and everything else like that, and get your, we'll call it your blue verification mark. All right, if you get what I'm saying, make sure that you have this in your your digital passport, more or less to say your digital health records. All right, it's the same thing. So let's go further into this word. It says grapho, to write with reference or form of letters. Let me jump down to write with reference to contents of writing. All right, let me jump down to D, to write to one by writing an epistle to give information or directions. All right, so to be filled with writing. All right, so hey, when you go into these things, you have your records and things like that written, written into these things. All right, but nevertheless, we just wanted to go into that. Matter of fact, we can go into another word. Let me go back one. But hey, these things are coming to pass as we speak. All right. Oh, it's this word, I believe. Oh, no. Come on, go back. All right, going into this here word for stigma. All right, this is a mark, prick, or branded upon the body. To the ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master, commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate which master or general they belonged to, or where even some devotees stamped themselves in this way to a token of their god. So this is going to be a mark, pricked, or branded upon the body, cut into the body. All right, but this is what was coming to pass, man. All right, so hey, like the scripture we read earlier, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, it's no longer a controversy of what this thing is, and oh, that's your interpretation, that's what you believe. No man knows, and everything else like that. Hey, the days of like people say, and matter of fact, I had brought this up the other day to somebody. Let me get this real quick. Matthew 24:36. People like to be in this here spirit right here. It says, but of the day and the hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So they say, oh, no man knows, no man knows. But they forget, they can quote this is coming from that the so-called dogma of things that's being taught in church. This is one thing that they remember. All right. But they couldn't tell you where they can find this in the scriptures. All right. And if they could tell you where they found it in the scripture, they couldn't tell you nothing about their chapter, because what is Matthew 24 telling you about? All right. Let's just go ahead and sum up Matthew 24. Let me go up to verse 3 real quick. Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? Now, let me jump back down to we were just reading in verse 36. All right, but let me see. I'm gonna read verse 32. It says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When the branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is not. So likewise, when you shall see these things, know that it is near, even at the door. So the whole summary basically of this here chapter is what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? And the Lord gives them all these signs so he knows when these things are coming to pass. But the one thing people will sit there and quote is verse 36, but of the day and the hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. And I gave them the example of, look, the doctor can't tell you when a woman, let's say the woman is clearly pregnant, right? The doctor can't tell you the day or the hour that the baby going to be born. And they can tell you based off of, we all know that, basically babies are born within 9 months of conception, right? Sometimes you have preemies and things like that. But hey, nevertheless, it's just basically, generally 9 months. But however, the doctor can't tell you the day or the hour because of the fact of what? Some women go into labor, they labor maybe 2 hours, they labor maybe 24 hours. So the exact moment that baby going to come out, you can't sit there and say about those things. You can say 9 months, but what happens if the baby's a preemie? All right. What happens if the date that you give and then the woman goes into labor on that date, but then, she don't actually have the baby till 24 hours later? That's the same thing that we have going on here. We can tell you about the times that we living in and the seasons. Hey, we ripe for the Lord to make his return. We see all these things, the prophecies coming to pass and everything else like that, man. All right. Also, the scripture we read earlier, at the end it shall speak and not lie. So we see all these things are coming to pass. All right. Upon the earth. Matter of fact, we'll close out with that. We see all these things coming to pass on the earth, but people will still try to ignore these things. But hey, man, I'll bring out one more precept and we'll close out. This is Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world that try them that dwell upon the earth. And as we see that there's a global economic collapse that's taking place, all right, it's harder and harder for people to buy groceries, gas, and everything else like that. When this economy collapses, what do you think they're going to replace it with? All right, we see, you just heard about in the video and everything else about what they're talking about when it comes to this here, this chip and everything else like that. So, hey, we see where these things are headed, man. At the end, it's just going to speak and not lie. And we're going to close out with this because I just kind of quoted it. Yeah. Matthew 24:14. All right. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. So, hey, this gospel, this new song that we've been preaching with, with all these quote unquote mysteries of the Bible have been, what the MOTB is. We'll just use that for an example because that's what, this here lesson is about. All right. This has been preaching to the four corners of the earth. And like I said, for a witness and a testimony to even those, you men that's out there that's preaching this here truth. You may, like I said, you may have had, when you first come into the truth, you may have had your relatives, your friends and things like that know about what you was into, may have called you crazy and disassociated themselves from you. All right. But hey, look, in due time, certain things like this may happen to where, you may wake up one morning and get a text message on your phone and it's a video of them basically showing you, oh, look, this is what, the same thing that they disowned you and talked to you crazy about, hey, they're going to try to microchip everybody and you're going to be able to buy or sell. This is now, boy, you crazy. You watching too much of the internet. You watching too many of them videos. Now, all of a sudden, you didn't have to send them their video or that channel, or they wouldn't even know about this channel. But look, lo and behold, they send you a video from a channel that you even watch and the things that you know about, showing forth the MOTB. All right. And there's no text message that go along with it. It's just a video. So and they know what the hell that they trying to say by sending you the video. So, hey, at the end, it's going to speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. All right. It may have been, a couple months. It may have been a couple years since, you may have talked to these people or for these people to even get these things. But, hey, it says, let me read it again, Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then the end shall come. So, hey, now it's becoming a witness, and at the end it's going to speak and not lie. So, hey, we know that we're pretty much nearing the end. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and rule well. And salutation, much love for you all can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and endure afflictions to feed, edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.